Hello. Welcome to today's live stream. It was it was the day yesterday. I tell y'all, man, it it was something. I was learning yesterday about how to live stream, and now, thankfully, I have I think solved some of the issues that I was having earlier with my live stream. So hopefully, it should be better. We'll see how it goes. You can never really predict when it comes to live streaming what's gonna happen. But yeah, man, I just the way that I kind of, I guess, not really resolved the issue, but the way I fixed, I think, some of the issues that I was having last time, especially with the recording that I saw, because I replayed the recording that happened yesterday for the live stream, and it was like stuttering and kind of skipping through what I was saying. So this time, I went ahead and hardwired into the internet modem. So hopefully it should be better now. I shouldn't have as much stutter and jitteriness and cutting in and out as I was yesterday. But yeah, man, today I'm just gonna be drawing again. Probably gonna be talking about nothing again. Hopefully that's something you're into. If it's not, I do apologize. But just I'm gonna go ahead and just start drawing stuff. Um, yeah. Oh, but I did actually. One thing I wanted to show y'all is kind of the thumbnail I made today. So I made a thumbnail. So I make a lot of thumbnails for my YouTube videos and all that, and Canva on my iPad here. But yeah, I just made a quick thumbnail from yesterday's drawings. So hopefully y'all appreciate that. But yeah, should be should be a pretty good stream today, honestly. Let's see. Alright. Gonna get rid of my keyboard and put it to the side a little bit. Gonna pull my iPad in front of me so that I can actually draw. But yeah, since it is Halloween time, I'm gonna start drawing probably some monsters and stuff, and that's kind of what's been recommended to me. Not by anybody specifically, but just by Pinterest, because Pinterest is always recommending to me what to draw because of my algorithm and all that stuff. So yeah, right now I think I'm just gonna draw the I think I'm gonna do Frankenstein, just like a cartoon version of Frankenstein. And let's see, I think I'm gonna do. Trying to think, what do I want? Do I want to do default? Yeah, let's try default paper size. Right. Let's see, what's my current brush right now? Oh yeah, that's right. I left off on lettering yesterday. So yesterday, if you didn't see a live stream, I was just doing some lettering because why not? Why not try something new? And go with blue background. All right. Let's see. See how we can make this happen. It shouldn't be too difficult, hopefully. Actually, no, I need a smaller. It's not the right pencil, actually. That was a 6B pencil. If you don't know, the 6B pencil, that's the one I use for coloring in and everything most of the time. Sometimes I'll use like paint, digital paint, but most of the time I'm using good old color pencil, digital color pencil. But hopefully they treat me well. Hopefully it's not too much of a crazy day. What's today? Thursday? Yeah, so it's almost the weekend. So we're almost there. For me, I work on the weekends, so I don't have a real weekend until Monday, technically. Even though I am off on Friday nights, so like when I get off work, because tonight I work from 10 p.m. until 7 a.m. tomorrow. So it's gonna be interesting to see. Well, I guess not gonna be interesting to see, but it's gonna be fun to see about me trying to stream tomorrow when I get off work. Usually I go to sleep, then I wake up like, cause I get off like I said at 7 a.m. and then when I get up, usually get up around like, what is it? Let me think. Let's see, 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. So about 5-ish. I would say about 5 p.m. is when I wake up on Friday evening. And I eat something. And normally I try to go back right back to bed because I got to be up at 5 in the morning the next day. But I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to stream for 2 to 3 hours maybe. And I might even start live streaming on Twitch, honestly, just to see, kind of how that is and see if I'm able to maybe to get a bigger audience or something, or to get, just new eyes on me. Because right now, nobody's turning to the live stream. And that's okay, because I'm a new creator. I'm not established in any way. So I don't expect people to just randomly come in and see, ooh, this guy, yeah, he's doing art, but it's like, I don't have any real work put in. I haven't been doing this. For years, so every creator starts somewhere. I kind of talked about that yesterday, where everybody starts somewhere. So I'm not mad at it. It's all about doing the work, Sometimes the only thing you can do, there's no like strategy that you can always follow to make sure that you definitely get followers or subscribers or people watching you or whatever. So you just gotta kind of do, you just gotta kind of go through the learning process, and that's okay. Some people, just like myself, like for me, I remember I used to think that like things should happen right away. When did you start doing anything to think that that was a very flawed way for me to think, and I had to learn through trial and error that yeah, nope, that's not how the world works. You gotta actually go through stuff and gotta actually try to do something in your life. Let me see. I'm actually going to try to connect to my headphones here. I'm gonna try to listen to some music. Hopefully, we'll see how that goes. Sorry, I'm trying to set up my headphones right now. Let's see. I got that. Headphones seem to be connected. Let's see if music plays. Shouldn't play through y'all's speakers, so I shouldn't get a copyright claim. Turn on something. Here we go. Okay. Cool. That should work. I think we're good. Audio levels are good. Cool. Yeah. Right now, I'm still using the same background music that I was using. So I got a, I think I told you this yesterday, but I got a copyright claim. It wasn't a copyright strike. Copyright strikes are bad. So copyright strikes, if you get 3 of those, I think those are the ones that you don't want on your YouTube channel. But a copyright claim, I don't think it's the most it's the most dire thing in the world. Let's see. Might be able to hear my clicks to my keyboard because I have a I bought this keyboard. It's a Keychron K8. And if you know anything about Keychron, they have very tactile feeling um, keyboards. Honestly, they make some of the best keyboards in my opinion. But yeah, so I got a Keychron, and yeah, it's very clackety clack. It's like softer clack, but it's still a clack. Very. It's good for typing. Whenever I'm doing like my blog and stuff, it's good for it's good for making me feel like I'm actually doing something. Cause I try to type fast. Like I said, I'm a tech nerd, so us tech nerds, if you know anything about us, we like to type fast. So I'm no different. Mm-mm-mm. I'm interested though, like if you know anybody watches this, what kind of music are you interested in? So right now I'm listening to a lot of old school rap, like LL Cool J, and a lot of older J Cole and all that. First things first, rest in peace, Uncle Phil. Rest in peace, Uncle Phil. What did I just say? Rest in peace, Uncle Phil is what I meant. You're the only father that I ever knew. I'm gonna be a better you. I know y'all can't hear what I'm listening to, but I'm hearing it, and yeah, I'm just reciting what I'm hearing. One time for my LA Who's. One save her. And do some hair. And I'm here right now. Yeah. I do apologize for making all these noises with my mouth and stuff, because I shouldn't. It's bad for the mic and it's bad for y'all as a listener. I know it is. Especially when I listen back to sometimes of the live stream and or the videos that I make on YouTube. Like why do I do that? Like why do I make these noises when I know y'all can hear them and being weird? Like that's just rude, and I apologize for being rude. Let's see. Yeah, I think one of the things I might do, I might make a Twitch account. Because honestly, I don't like Twitch all that much, just as a platform. Which actually, I'm not gonna do that. Actually, I'm gonna stick to what I'm doing now. Just thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, I don't want to make. I just don't want to make a YouTube or not a YouTube. Excuse me. I don't want to make a Twitch account. So I'm getting distracted by the music I'm listening to. So that's something I gotta get used to, I guess now. Learning how to talk, even though the music playing in my. I don't have the music too loud, so it won't like overpower what I'm saying. So I'm not speaking too loud. You ever been like listening to music and then like somebody tries to talk to you and you're like talking all loud back to them and they look at you like you're crazy? I feel like that's something that happened when headphones first came out, especially Bluetooth headphones. Like I remember when Bluetooth headphones first came out, and man, they were terrible. Like they weren't good at all. Like the distance for them were terrible, and they were also expensive, and it just wasn't something that I could afford. But I remember I did get a. If you remember, what is it? A like Bluetooth like headset or whatever it was. It's for like talking on the phone or whatever, but it was only for talking on the phone. It wasn't for playing music through your headphones, nothing like that. It was just strictly like I would open my web browser, but I got stuff in my web browser that I don't want y'all to see. My iPad. I gotta clean up my internet history, so don't judge me, okay? Because I know we all look at stuff we shouldn't be looking at. But I'm honest about it. I'm like, hey, I shouldn't be watching this, but and I don't mean like crazy stuff. I'm just talking about. Yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna expand on that actually, because one day this is gonna resurface maybe. If anybody ever discovers this video, they're gonna be like, "What the hell were you talking about, bro? Like, what were you doing?" I'm not talking about the Kendrick Lamar type stuff, no. But yeah, just stuff that I'd rather keep private. Especially because I've seen some of these streamers like they accidentally expose themselves, and I'm like, dude, like that's something. Because it's so easy to expose yourself out here nowadays, so that's something that I don't want to do. Hopefully, I'll prevent it. I'm not gonna freak out if it ever does happen, but I'm not one of those people that gets. I don't think I would ever be like embarrassed about stuff like that. I might, because I'm a very conservative type of individual, but at the same time, I'm like, if it happens, it is what it is. Mm-mm-mm. All right, let's do this. Gonna do, gonna do sketch. This we're gonna do color. I'm gonna start coloring this crap in. I say crap, but I don't think it's crap. I actually think it's coming out pretty good so far. I just gotta get some color in there, and it should be good. One thing I do gotta do, I gotta do more research though about like, whoop, got the wrong pencil again. I gotta do more research on just art streaming and how to be more engaging with it, and how to set up my whole streaming setup better. Right now my streaming setup is very bare bones, and I don't expect it to be like the most high quality at the moment. But I do have to hold myself to a standard, and I have to increase my audio quality or my presentation, to be entertaining, because that's what this is. This is entertainment. So you got to be able to entertain people and bring some kind of value. So, and that's still something I'm trying to figure out, is what kind of value am I bringing? Am I bringing obviously entertainment, but while I'm being entertaining, am I able to educate? Am I able to give up, excuse me, give opinions about whatever I'm thinking about? Let's see, I'm gonna grab my water real quick. See, I might hear me get up real quick. Do apologize, mouth is dry. That's one good thing about having a lapel mic or a lapel mic, whatever you want to call it, is that it follows you. Because I got it clipped to my t-shirt right now. So wherever I go, doesn't matter what I do, it's gonna follow me. The bad thing about that is that it does follow me everywhere. So like if I need to use the restroom or something while on stream, I gotta make sure that I mute my mic. Maybe I change my scenes because in OBS, if you don't know about OBS, they have scenes. So if you if you want to like change something, then you could just set up different scenes, to like a lot of streamers do it where they have let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to look at my text messages on my computer real quick. If somebody texts me, they text me about a car that I can't afford. Yeah. Yeah. I was looking at cars the other day, and I was looking at cars that I couldn't afford. I think we all do it, where we look at cars or houses that we aspire to get one day. And for me, I was looking at a Porsche Taycan. It's an electric vehicle, and because for me, I like electric vehicles. Honestly, like like I know Tesla in general. Like people don't like Tesla because of Elon Musk, and Elon done messed up their revenues. Honestly, like because Tesla, honestly, as a car manufacturer, like honestly, I think that they could be one of the best. Honestly, and they were for a long time because they make great cars. It's very simplistic, which is what I like. And I don't want an overcomplicated car. Like I don't want, for example, like a Lamborghini, right? I don't think I would ever want a Lamborghini. I say that now until I get the money. If I ever do get the money for a Lamborghini, then I'll buy a Lamborghini or something, right? But no, I don't think I would ever want like a Lamborghini though, because and the reason why for that for me, right? One is that well, you know what? I've never even driven a Lamborghini, so let me not say I don't have one. But as of right now, what my mindset is before getting anything is that I don't think I would want a Lamborghini. And the reason why I say I don't think I would want one was just because how complex it is, how much maintenance goes behind it, and all that. And I don't think I want to deal with all that. I just want a simple car that gets me from point A to point B, hopefully. And I think that's really all I want at the moment. Like I said, I say that now, but then in the future, you know, provided I'm able to do it, then it's gonna be like, oh, well, I thought you said you never wanted a Lamborghini. I'm like, yeah, I know, but I can change my mind, right? Like I think it's okay to change your mind, right, about stuff. Some people say no, some people say yeah. I think it's okay to change your mind about stuff when you're provided with new information, or you know, when as you get older, your interests and hobbies and everything changes. But one thing you have to do as an individual, you always have to self-analyze. So you have to see kind of what what you're doing that you really don't like, and that you just want to make sure that you aren't compromising on your core beliefs. And that's something that I'm still trying to define. Like I was talking to my therapist the other day, and I told her about kind of because I've had to rebuild my life, right? I think if you know me, or if this is your first time, if you don't know, I used to be homeless. I was homeless on and off for a while. Now I stay at a extended stay hotel at the moment, and it's a cool place. It's honestly a really good place, and it's a great deal in terms of money wise, how much I'm spending. And but I don't have a car right now. But I've had to. The reason why I'm mentioning all this is because was telling my therapist about rebuilding myself, right? And having to come from absolutely nothing to having, barely any clothes on my back and, having no food at sometimes, and not being able to eat and provide for myself. To now, having a job, having a, consistent income and being able to work hard and actually do something that I want to do with my life. And I was telling her just about like trying to rebuild myself. And kind of getting back to what I was saying about core beliefs, I was telling her that I was starting to write down kind of some of my core beliefs, and I was trying to figure out what it is that I don't want to compromise on, like morality wise, And I think one of the things was like integrity and authenticity and all these other things that I think is good for all of us to have as people, being self-aware and empathetic to others and all that good stuff. And hopefully I'm hoping that I never lose that sense of self-awareness and that sense of wanting to keep with my core beliefs because I think that we all have to have like a core belief. Some people their core beliefs might be a little misconstrued. And I've had that. I've had my core beliefs be not the best core beliefs in the world. Like for a long time, I would one of my core beliefs was having like millions of dollars, right? And I thought that I had to have millions of dollars in the bank in order to be considered successful. And success can be defined in many different ways. For me, of course, I do want to be able to provide for myself and all that stuff. What I realized though is that I don't have to have millions of dollars in the bank in order to do so. Is it nice to have? Sure. It's nice. It's nice to have. But another nice to have is, something that is of value to other people. Because I think for me, I just want to be of value. Be entertaining, all that good stuff. Cool. That's perfectly fine. But also to be able to provide value to others. I think that is what we all should strive for. It's being of value to others because we as a people, I think we can get so caught up in our own lives and be so. And this is me talking about myself too. Like we can all be so selfish, And I think that's okay to an extent. It's okay to be selfish to prioritize your own happiness. I think that's great. And but you gotta. Everything's about balance. In the world. Like everything's about balance. Everything's about yin and yang. You have to find the homeostasis that where you are selfish. You do have your your boundaries and all that great stuff, but you also want to be able to help people, and you also don't want to isolate yourself from everybody and to be so you don't want to be so self-centered and to forget about just everybody else. And maybe some people do. That's perfectly fine if some people want to do that. But for me, I am an introvert, but within being an introvert, there's I've found at least that there are certain aspects of my life where I just I have to. That's what I'm looking for. I have to get outside myself. So I have to kind of force myself to do it, but I do have to do it. And sometimes people will say, "No, you don't have to do that." I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, I kind of have to because I've been so withdrawn from the world, and I remember for a while I was very much pessimistic about the world because I try to be very optimistic about the world and just about life in general. But with everything going on these days, like I was watching a stream from talked about Valkyrie. Valkyrie, if you don't know her, she's a big, streamer, gamer, but she's a franchise though. But anyway, she was kind of talking about how she is now doing certain events and stuff like TwitchCon, I think is what it was that she was going to go to. She decided to back out of it, and she was talking about kind of the state of the world right now, especially the United States. Like the United States, we're in a predicament right now, and that's putting it lightly. We're in a predicament, but yeah, we have to be sure that we are protecting ourselves as individuals, but also being able to be out there in the world. We can't just isolate ourselves all day, every day. Maybe some of us can, but for me, I don't want to do that. I don't want to just be so withdrawn from the world. I want to be of the world. Even though I know that I am naturally kind of detached from the world, and I'm different. It sounds so crazy to say, but because I don't feed into the whole like I don't feed into a lot of the stuff that the world tries to kind of make us feed into, and it's unfortunate the world is like that. It really is. And what I mean by the world is like that, like I'm just talking about we eat each other, like we pause pause on that, but we just criticize and criticize and criticize all the time, and we see, and this is me too, by the way. Like when I'm talking about the world, I'm talking about me as well. But I'm trying to get out of this mind state of seeing the world in such a negative light and always trying to criticize people, and it's like I have to go against my nature of wanting to criticize somebody and be like, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't put that into the world. Maybe I shouldn't put the. I gotta see about this. Yeah, I gotta get myself like I gotta go against my own nature, and I have to be sure that I'm not feeding into the narrative of the world, because the world will tell you that everything is terrible. It's like, don't get me wrong, we're in a bad spot, at least here in the United States, and maybe in the world, but we're in a bad spot, and that's okay to say that we're in a bad spot. What's not okay though is being okay with that or feeding more into that, because it's not a somewhere where we want to stay. We want to. I would hope that we will want to get out of it, and that's my hope, is to try to be part of that generation of people who are going against the norm of putting hate out into the world and trying to put love, back. It sounds corny, I'm saying it out loud, but that's the truth for me, is trying to put happiness and joy into the world. I almost started singing joy to the world just now. If you're a Christian, you know what I'm talking about. If you're not a Christian, there's a song called Joy to the World. And yeah, I can't hit those notes though, because it's very much like has like an opera tone. And yeah, it's just not something I'm not gonna do. My voice is too deep for that. Even though I be trying by myself sometimes. But let's see. I'm gonna change my music real quick. Mm-mm. One thing I do wonder is about like streamers that are reactor channels and stuff like that. Cause I see a lot of I watch a lot of like reaction channels on Twitch, and or not Twitch, but YouTube. and I see that they put out videos about them reacting to stuff. I'm like, damn, how do y'all not get a copyright claim or copyright strike? Like for me, I get them. Like I said, I got them on just the background music that I'm using on these videos. It's supposed to be a copyright free music. I'm trying to think, it's tan the color I want for the eyes. I think it is. I think I want a little more yellow. I think we'll go a little more that way. I don't want it tan like a skin color. I want it more like still kind of a skin color. I want it a little more yellow. I think that's better. Yeah, but honestly, when it comes to this live streaming, like even these, I did it for 2 hours yesterday, doing it for some hours today as well. And I was looking at some motivational videos on YouTube, as I do. Sorry, I'm tapping the mic again. Didn't mean to do that. But yeah, so I was watching some motivational videos about just, making it in streaming and all of that stuff. And that's another thing I gotta redefine is quote unquote making it. Because I think it's different for everybody. For me, making it is just being able to pay my bills from streaming or from content creation. Because if I'm able to do that, there's other stuff I can do with that, and I can go further with it. I think I'm actually gonna do more of a greenish gray. Do something like that for the hair. Let's see how that goes. Trust the process, y'all. That's what I'm telling myself right now. One thing I may want to do though, when it comes to the YouTube thing, because right now I'm looking at the YouTube kind of the playback playback of the live stream that I'm doing. It has a little. I put it as normal latency because it's just I don't know how good my internet connection is, and I don't want to make it stutter for anybody that may be watching this. So yeah, I gotta maybe play with my latency a little bit in the future. There's only 3 settings for it. It's either normal, low, and then high. I think I may try low latency just to see what it looks like. One album I keep going back to for some reason recently is The Weeknd's Hurry Up Tomorrow. Also, a crazy thing is that Spotify, they finally added lossless audio. I'm not sure if it's available yet on, let's see, is it available on computer yet? Let me check. I know it's available on my, yeah, they do have it available. Yeah, that's cool. They do have it available on, what do you call it? Computer. I know for sure that they have it available on my phone. Which I listen to a lot of music if y'all don't know. I'm in the top like right now when it comes to Spotify listeners. I remember looking at my wrap up for my Spotify. And my wrap up showed that I was like in the top like 1% of people that listen to Spotify. Just because I listen to it so much. And to me, it's a sense of pride, but to some people it may not be. Man, it's like, man, you gonna get a life, It's like, yeah. I mean, dang, did I close out of it? close out of my window that I have for my reference, y'all. That's not good. So now I gotta reopen a window. Gotta reopen Pinterest. Go back. Let's see. Go to my history. Should be there. And it's not there. Let's see what we got. That'll be my history. All right, there we go. All right, cool. Got my reference back. Oh yeah, that's all I forgot to do. I forgot to save it to my board, to my Pinterest. Gotta make sure to do that. Speaking of the weekend after hours has just surpassed 15 billion streams on Spotify. That is crazy. Can only imagine. One thing I also got to figure out about these live stream information. Let's see. Oh, look, I got one view. That's awesome. I'm happy about that. It was a little bit earlier, like 116. What are concurrent viewers? Does that just mean people that are watching? Let's see. What are concurrent? Like I said, I figured this all out. Concurrent viewers. So I figured this. I'm figuring out this streaming stuff, like in person. Well, in person. Still, I'm figuring that in person because I'm in person. But I'm talking about in real time is what I meant. Because I don't know a lot about this live streaming. It's only my second stream, so technically third. Because yes, there was 2 streams because it cut out to like 25 minutes. What is talking of concurrent viewers? Alright, let's see. So concurrent viewers represents the number of people watching a live stream or media at a single point in time, rather than total number of people who watched it over its entire duration. Okay. So that's good to know. So concurrent viewers just mean people that are watching at one specific time. It's good to know. But yeah, I had one viewer. So that was awesome. You know, I appreciate you coming in, and if you ever watch this, you know, in this entirety, and I'm not boring, I appreciate you. So, but yeah, I think trial and error is my best friend right now. All right, so now I'm gonna do a little more detail here. If you don't know what my process is when it comes to art, usually I just do a base paint, like a base color, and then from there I start adding more details to it. Usually I just keep it all on one layer because I'm kind of lazy, and I just like the way it looks with one layer. I'm not breathing. Let's see. Go around here. But yeah, I think with live streaming, I think it'll give you a lot more experience for drawing while people are watching me. And even when people aren't watching me, still trying to be entertaining and all that. That's a great thing about YouTube. That's why I don't want to go to Twitch, by the way. Is that, so the benefits of being on Twitch is that, you know, Twitch in general, from what I know, from doing a little research, is that Twitch has more people that watch live streams because Twitch is built for live streaming. YouTube is not really built for live streaming per se. Even though they do, don't get me wrong, they do have tools for live streaming and they try to do their best with it. But I did see that they are actually doing a better, trying to do a better job at live streaming stuff. So with with them trying to do a better job, that's why I'm trying to get more into live streaming now. It's also because I didn't really have a place to live stream before. When I was living with my sister on her couch, I didn't want to live stream there because I didn't really have a computer or anything. So now that I'm able to, I think it's good for me to get out there and put myself out there. I think that's one of the. I'm gonna always say this to anybody, no matter who you are, because even I've seen just in my short time of being on the internet more and putting myself out there more. As I'm putting myself out there, putting my opinions out there, everything on YouTube, especially, is like a nugget, a nugget of somebody discovering you or something like that. Because in order to be a big streamer or to be a big YouTuber or to be a big creator or even an artist or whatever you want to be good at, in order to be good at it and in order to get the viewers and the money or whatever it is, the fame that you want to get, you have to put in the work, man. And that's something that there's no substitute for hard work. And that's something that I didn't learn until, unfortunately, I'm ashamed to admit this, but I didn't learn that until my 30s. So with me learning that though, I'm like, okay, cool. I have to be sure that I'm working hard and consistently getting better and trying to, you know, put myself out there and be somebody who that I know I can be, which you have to I mean to turn this into a motivational speech, but you have to you really have to just like Nike says, just do it. And if you just do it and you consistently do it and you're constantly trying to get better, eventually you'll hit your point where it's like, oh wow, I actually, you look back and be like, man, I actually did it. But it takes time. It takes years of dedication, hard work. Some people, don't get me wrong, they have success quick in life, and the old saying is easy come, easy goes. Because if something is easy, a lot of times you know, it's not worth anything. That's not to say that they didn't work hard for the people that got it easy. It's just that they, cause everybody has their own journey. You gotta. For me, my journey is very slow, a very slow grind, and it's like okay, I have to be willing and able to go through that. To go through the no viewers, you know, the no viewers. What do you call it? I guess phase of just not having anybody look at you, having stuff out there, having content out there, having stuff you created out there, but just nobody really cares. And that's okay. It takes time for people to catch up. And but once they do catch up, it's like, oh wow, they're there with you, and that's a great feeling, to be able to be like, oh wow, you believed in yourself first before anybody else. So, and you can't expect everybody to believe in you right from the jump. Of course, we all hope that happens, but a lot of times it's not going to happen that way. People aren't going to go into the bandwagon. People like things that are popular already, and that's just the way it is. That's the way life is, and like even like for example, The Weeknd, right? One of my favorite artists now. I remember that I didn't really listen to The Weeknd all that much for a while, and I forget why I started listening to him and why I even got into him, but he's become one of my favorite artists because I eventually I guess caved into the pressure of society of oh The Weeknd's really good. And there are some people that still don't like the weekend, and that's okay. We can't appease everybody. We just can't. But there are how many billions of people in the world, and you don't think that anybody's gonna not like you? Like, come on, man. You can do everything right. You can appease everybody. You can be the most holy, never done anything wrong to anybody person in the world, and you're still gonna make somebody upset at you because that's just the way the world works. And we as people have to understand that, and we have to be willing to be like, okay, I understand how the world works, and I'm okay with that. Speaking of being okay with that, I'm not okay with the way my mouth is dry right now. I gotta drink some more water. I do apologize if you hear me gulping and stuff. I'm just really thirsty right now. All But yeah, man, life is interesting. Life is it's a beautiful thing, honestly. Life is. You can learn so much from it if you are willing to learn from it, but you can also not learn anything from it if you don't want to learn. So, you got to kind of take it as what it is. It's a beautiful thing that I think a lot of us take advantage of, or not even take advantage of. I meant to say take for granted. That's what I meant. And even myself, I've taken life for granted before, but stepping back now, like actually looking and seeing how short life is, like, man, because if you don't know, the average lifespan right now in the world is like 78. 78 and a little bit more. I think almost 79 years. But, and even that seems like a short time. But for my race, because I'm half black, half Mexican, most black men, especially, we only live to about 68. So our lifespan is about 10 years shorter than what the national, or not national, the world average is. So for me, like I said, I'm 32. So if I'm 32 now, 68, so at 34 years old, I'll be technically, statistically at least, halfway through my life. And it's like, like it's an interesting thing to think about, because it's like, okay, at the halfway point of my life, where did I think I would be? Where am I at now? And how can I be able to make the remainder of my life worthwhile? And to me, the way I make it worthwhile is by making art, putting myself out there, trying to be of some value to others, helping others, as much as I can. And eventually, when I do pass, I'll be able to leave that legacy of, okay, I helped as many people as I could, even if it's not millions of people, at least it's somebody. If I can help one person, that's my like ultimate goal. And it's a cliche to say, I know it is. Some people may think it's a corny thing to say, but I don't think it's a corny thing. I think it's a great motivator for me to just keep going, to try to help somebody and to try to be something. But for a long time, I played small. Like I was afraid of being, I was afraid of being great. And it sounds cliche. A lot of cliches in my speech right now. But I think that's okay to be cliche sometimes. Maybe it's not okay. Maybe some people don't like that. That's fine. But yeah, I'm just curious about a lot of stuff in the world. And you'll notice with these live streams, I'm going to be, hopefully one day, once I get more viewers, I'll be able to engage more with y'all. And I'll be able to not dwell so much on not having any viewers, you know. Because I think that the more I say it, the more it sounds like I'm complaining about it. And I'm not complaining about it, it's just a reality, you know. It's like, okay, you know, I have no viewers. Cool. Now, how do we go from there, you know? It's like, if nobody watches it, so nobody watches it. Like, literally, one of the things I think about, right, is that if nobody watches this at all, it's like, okay, well, I was just back where I was, you know. It's not like it's affecting me in any negative way. I'm just gonna continue doing what I'm doing now and trying to keep getting better. That's all you can do, Hunt. Try to get better. Mm-mm-mm. But yeah, I think I talked about this earlier. I forget what video it was or when I talked about it. I don't know if it's the video that I'm never gonna put out or not. But at some point I mentioned this. But Bob Ross. So Bob Ross, he was a big inspiration for me to do art and all that. And Bob Ross, I believe he was on public access television. Last time I said it with confidence. Now I don't really know anymore because I don't know anything. You'll learn that very quickly that I don't know anything, and that's okay. By the way, that transition for the weekend is crazy. From going from Baptizing Fear to Open Hearts on the Hurry Up Tomorrow album. It's a great transition. Recommend if you haven't listened to the weekend's Hurry Up Tomorrow, definitely check it out. You know, because it's a sonic experience. Definitely recommend getting the highest quality headphones that you can. For me, I originally heard it in the car, or I originally played it in the car, and then now I got these on my storage unit that I go to every once in a while to get stuff. I had a pair of Beat Studio Pros that I had in there. I don't know why, but it doesn't look right. Whatever I'm drawing doesn't look right to me. Well, trust the process, y'all. Trust the process. I'm gonna keep going. Didn't turn out right. You know what? At least I tried. That's what it's all about, right? Just trying. Uh, keep saying it till I'm blue in the face. Just keep trying. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming, swimming, swimming. What do we do? We swim, swim. If you don't know what that's from, I implore you, I beg of you to please look up that movie. If you know what movie that is, that's great. I'm happy that you know, because that's a great movie. Mm-mm-mm. I'm gonna do a little bit more of a highlight green right here. I've always wondered for art, right, or for anything, because I think we all have like natural inclinations for a lot of stuff. And what did I just say? Inclinations. I think inclination. I guess the other word I could use is just we have natural talents. That's the it's the more simplistic version. I don't know why I be trying to use all these big words and stuff, but it's like something that I do in my normal life, and I don't know why I do it. I guess to make it sound like I read, which I do read a lot, but I don't think I should have to be out here trying to make it seem like I read. So, anyways, back to what I was saying. What was I saying? I think so in terms of anything creative, anything that, anything that we do in life, one thing I wonder is how much of what we do is natural, just comes to us naturally. How much of it is talent, maybe? How much of it is learned? And how much of it is just pure luck, Because with anything, right? I think part of some stuff is skill, like sometimes we are naturally just gifted at stuff. Sometimes we just get lucky, and some people would call that, instead of being lucky, I'm blessed, And I get that, I'm not knocking that, but there are different factors that go into play when it comes to being good at anything, right? And I think it's a combination of a whole bunch of these factors. How much of it is each of it, like how much of a part does talent, hard work, dedication, how much does all that play into, excuse me, how good you are at something? Who knows? I don't think there's a specific amount for everyone, but I think it is there for everybody. Like I think there is a factor of all of those things. So yeah, just something to think about. I think when it comes to like when we see people that are famous or are good at something or whatever, how much of it is just behavior? How much of it is talent? How much of it is hard work, dedication, determination, all that good stuff? How much of it is just luck? Like I don't think we would ever know what the formula is for all that stuff. I know one big thing though that does factor into it, and that's just not giving up. Like I was listening to, if you know who Nipsey Hussle is, Nipsey Hussle, he's a rapper from Compton and Compton, California. If you don't know where that's at, it's in Los Angeles, California. It's like a neighborhood of Los Angeles, but it's a neighborhood that was infested, especially back in the '90s and stuff, '90s and '80s, with like drugs and all that. But a lot of minorities live in that area, so I say minorities, like I'm not part of it. A lot of black people live there, and it's because that's where that's where they put us. And when I say they, I just mean society of the United States. Anyways, so Nipsey Hussle, he was a rapper, right? And I was listening to some of his older interviews, and he was speaking about just, the way he got successful is not, he doesn't know how much of these factors that I was speaking about, how much of it played into his success. But I kind of echo his sentiment of like hard work being one of the big factors, because, or not giving up being one of the big factors. Because if you are close to anything, doesn't matter what it is, if you're close to anything, and when I say close to anything, I just mean close to like being successful at that, right? If you're close to being successful and you just give up, like that's like one of the worst times to give up, because once you give up, you go back to just nothing. Like you go back to being, and I don't mean being nothing, I just mean being like, that was a bad choice of words I just used, y'all. you go back to being like complacent with mediocrity, and I don't think any of us should be complacent with mediocrity. Even though some of us, don't get me wrong, like some of us just want a normal life. That is perfectly fine. If you want that for yourself, I say go for it. Whatever you want in your life. Doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter if you want $1 million, or if you just want a couple 100,000, or you just, don't want any of that, and you just maybe want a shack in the woods. As long as you're not hurting anybody, or trying to physically, emotionally scar people or hurt people, like, dude, just go for it, man. Like, that's cool. I think everybody should do that. Let's see, edit title, description. Seems like my connection's pretty stable today. It's good because I'm hardwired in. I'm happy about that. I gotta change these shoes. So, like, the way they look, I don't like the way they look. I think what I'm gonna do, let's see. Let's just do some colors. How about that? I'm gonna do a little bit of gray here. Let's just see what happens. Worst case scenario, it comes out terrible. I'll learn something new. Best case scenario, I do something good, and it's like, oh, I can share that on social media now. I don't think I'm gonna make up these shoes correctly. I'm not experienced enough yet. I could. We'll see. Yeah, it's a little bit of Frankenstein there. Oh yeah, you know what? I'm gonna add a little bit of shadow to the eyes here. One thing I don't know in the future is that if I'm ever gonna do like a face cam, and it's just because I don't like being on camera. Like, it's just not something that I'm a big fan of being on camera. Even though I know people like seeing people on camera because they want to see what the person looks like. And maybe I'll change my mind about this in the future, but right now I don't think I want that, to be on camera. I think I just like doing the screen capture and then just doing it like that. Like I said, maybe I'll change my mind on that in the future, but right now, I don't think I will at the moment. Let's see what else I want to draw today. Let's do a little ghost. Doesn't seem too hard to draw, so we're gonna go ahead and do this one. It's not that I'm shy or I'm scared of drawing anything complicated, because I've drawn stuff that's complicated and it didn't turn out right. I'm fine with that. It's just sometimes you like warming up. It's my first couple of drawings for the day, so I'm not trying to. I'm just kind of warming up right now, honestly. Another good way to warm up, if you don't know, is just to like draw circles. Like, try to draw as many circles as you can. See, different sizes. They don't have to be the same size. Just kind of doing this. It's a good way to warm up. And also, instead of doing circles, because if you don't know, right, in the whole sphere of like drawing, one of the first things that I learned how to do is how to draw circles, how to draw squares, how to like sketch them, and then how to draw triangles. And I did this just numerous times. I would draw different sizes. Sometimes I would only do like single lines for each side. So not even sketching them, but just trying to make them as perfect as possible. Just doing that. And the same thing with triangles. So like making big ones, small ones. Like triangles, you can make them like that. You can make circles. You can make them overlap. Like there is no. You can also do it like if you want to do like more of a more distorted one. If you want to do more of like a parallelogram. If you don't know what a parallelogram is, it's one of those that kind of slants. It's a rectangle that slants like that. You could do that. You could do like cubes. You could make it so that like if you look at it this way, I'm still not good at drawing 3D, by the way. Like don't think I'm over here trying to teach you an art lesson, but it's just some of the basics of stuff that I learned, when it comes to drawing. So if you ever want to get into like art in general, this is kind of where you want to start, is just drawing shapes, honestly. And it doesn't have to look good. Hopefully nobody's gonna ever see it. Like for me, of course I'm live streaming, so everybody's gonna see it if they ever want to look up this video. But yeah, like you see how like effed up this square or this cube is. Like this isn't a good cube at all. It doesn't look 3D. It doesn't look good, and that's okay. It's okay for it not to look good, And that's one thing we have to, as people, we have to be okay with it, Like when I draw a triangle, it could be like a quick, rough sketch like that. I also do a triangle going this way. See how terrible that triangle is? It's perfectly fine. Triangle going this way. It's cool. You do a triangle going diagonally. If you know about diagonally, you are an awesome person. If you don't know about diagonally, learn about it, and then you will be an awesome person. But yeah, so it's just something I do sometimes. It's just like I'll just sketch random shapes all the time. And another good thing to do is just do like random shapes, like literal random shapes. If you want to do like an S type of thing, like that's cool, something like that. If you want to do something like just do like if you want to do letters, trying to make 3D letters or something, just try it. Like there is no wrong way to do art. The wrong way to do art is by not doing it. That's the wrong way to do it. Also, if you use AI, to me, that's the wrong way to do it. Because AI, to me, is not art. Some people, it might be cool, whatever. But to me, I think that you should always do art like drawing, or if you were on a computer, whatever, like doing like 3D graphics or whatever, do it that way, But I think a human being doing it is that's the way to define art, Like I looked up the definition of art, and one of the definitions of art is just, I think human creation is one of the key words that I use. And I agree with that. Yeah, but anyways, I'll keep that for now, and I'll just start doing. I'm probably gonna use these drawings. I think what I'm gonna start doing, I'm gonna start doing these thumbnails that I'm doing. Sorry, I'm hitting the mic again. Every day, I'm just gonna like put together a collage of the drawings I did for the previous stream. I'm gonna make that my thumbnail for the next live stream. I think that's the best way to do it, at least for me for right now. Maybe I'll change that in the future, and maybe I'll just do like my best drawing or the drawing I'm working on, or whatever comes to mind for the thumbnail. It just has to be something that people want to click on, is all. Because unfortunately, when it comes to YouTube, thumbnail is a very important aspect of a good video. Thumbnail and title is something that I've learned, and I'm still not good at them yet, but I'm getting better at them. I think simplicity is one of the key words that was used. Some of the research I was looking at. Sorry, I'm looking at threads. Well, what anime is this? I'm over here looking at this animation from like let's see, Sonic Shadow Generation. Start bonusing them. Cool. I'm gonna actually look that up later. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. Like this animation of Shadow the Hedgehog. If you don't know Shadow the Hedgehog, man, I don't know who you are, but you definitely gotta find out who not Sonic the Hedgehog, Shadow the Hedgehog. All right. Anyways, I'm gonna start drawing now. So I'm gonna be drawing a ghost. Ghosts of futures past with a top hat is what we're gonna be drawing. I don't know if it's really the ghost of futures past, but I just kind of added that. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, one thing I got to do though, I don't know if I completed the thought that I was talking about earlier, but one thing I got to do is to research more about art, live streams and YouTubers and being a better streamer and all that stuff because I do want to do this as a living. It's just a matter of, like I said, consistency, putting myself out there, hard work, determination, a little bit of talent maybe. I don't know how talented I am yet because I haven't explored my potential just yet, but I think I'm getting better. Like if you were to look back at some of my older drawings, they were horrendous, and that is okay. Maybe one day I'll kind of go through my Procreate here to, because I started on Procreate as an artist, as a digital artist, and I've been doing it pretty much every day ever since. Even when I'm not posting it online or whatever, I'm still doing it. So, like for me, I know that struggle of man, like this isn't working. Like, whenever it comes to my art, and that's okay to admit. It's like okay, cool. It's okay to say this. I don't like this, but continuing and still trying to finish it. It takes a lot to be able to do that. It's okay, but that didn't work out, so I'm gonna try something else and just keep going. Same thing with the music thing I was talking about. I do some music also. Most of it is just me trying stuff, and it's okay to do that. It's not like. Let me see. I'm actually gonna mute my microphone real quick. All right, I am back. But yeah, it's just about just trying stuff, man, like that. You'll always hear me saying that. I'm gonna try to draw a hand here. I am notoriously terrible, or artists in general are terrible at drawing hands. Some of them, don't get me wrong, they are some great people when it comes to drawing hands. But for me, I haven't drawn hands enough, so right now I suck at them. Most of the time I try to avoid them. So, and because I try to avoid them, guess what? I don't get better at them. And that's what happens. It's like when you avoid stuff, they don't get better. They're not just gonna magically just get better. You have to try to get better at them. And the more you try, guess what? The more you're gonna get better at it. That's the ironic thing. Mm-mm-mm. Draw finger. see how this goes. So far, I'm liking the way it's turning out. It's not too complicated. I'm gonna do 4 fingers, I think, instead of 5. I'm gonna do the short little finger right here. And we'll continue the arm down. And there we go. Right. So that's my basic shape right there. Comes to my set of Casper friendly ghost. This is, I don't know who it would be, but I was trying to think of like an opposite of Casper, maybe Perkefs. Perkefs. Yeah, I'm terrible at coming up with names. Right. And a little ribbon and top hat right here at the bottom. That. Make this a little wider. I think that's pretty good. All right. Now it's time to color. Name this sketch. Bring this down. Go to color. And now we're gonna do this. It seems like from my live stream, it's been holding steady. So I think I fixed the issue when it came to the Wi-Fi, because the Wi-Fi probably shouldn't have did that, to be honest with y'all. Not talking about the drawing, I'm just talking about trying to stream over Wi-Fi. Don't get me wrong, some Wi-Fi is super fast, but what I've learned recently is that, and I kind of knew this already, but what was I guess kind of reiterated to me, what I've learned now is that a wired connection to your computer is way more stable, and it's a lot faster too when it comes to anything. When it comes to anything having to do with the internet. So it's just better if you can to hardwire into your internet connection if possible. Especially if you're streaming, because streaming takes a lot of bandwidth, a lot of upload, download speeds, all that good stuff. So the more that you're able to get from your internet connection, the better it's going to be for your streaming setup. So yeah, something I learned, which is, I'm glad I learned it early though, because that first live stream was pretty bad. When I played back like the video and all that, I was like, ooh, that isn't good. I don't like the way, because it was skipping whole parts and stuff, and I was like, yeah, I wouldn't want to watch this either. So, and I try to make content that I want to watch, like I like to try to put myself in the shoes of the viewers and all that stuff. So we're gonna go with the light green over here. The color of the ghost is gonna be, and we're likely gonna do a let's see, I'm gonna do the reference here. This is just so I can see like the more zoomed out view. So when I'm going in closer, you can still kind of see what it's gonna look like. Let's do that. I don't like that at all. There we go. Yep, don't like that. Let's do that. It's a little glitch in Procreate right there. For some reason when I zoom out, like when I pinch out to zoom, I don't know if you'll see that, but it kind of like cuts out the top left. Yeah, anyways. Yeah. Well, yeah, I like to look at whenever I'm doing a drawing. I like to look at the holistic view of it while I'm zoomed in. Some art applications automatically do it. Procreate doesn't automatically do it, which they try to keep the interface very simple. So I get why. Which honestly I like. Like as a beginner artist, it really helps to have as little distractions as possible with because you can make it complex if you want, but I think that if you like this right here, right, I can pull this out if I want, and I can make this like that, and it could be stationary there if I want it to be. So it could be right there. That's one thing I just newly discovered. I didn't know I could pull out the color. Whoop. Yeah, I didn't know I could pull out the color wheel from the top right. So you learn something new about Procreate. You do a lot of great stuff with Procreate, honestly. A lot of professionals use it. Amateurs use it because it's a simple application, but it's a great application. And I will probably continue using it until I either find something better that I like more, or until they do something crazy. But right now, they seem to be doing pretty great. So I like Procreate Company. I forget what the parent company is called. Maybe it is just Procreate Ltd. Maybe. Who knows? I'll look it up later in the App Store to figure it out. Oh, speaking of Procreate, I gotta follow them on Instagram real quick. So yesterday I kind of touched on me not following anybody on Instagram or YouTube or whatever, or not YouTube, but on Instagram or Threads or whatever. But I started following people again because I'm like, yeah, may as well try, try to reach out to people and try not to be so kind of what I was talking about earlier, so like closed off from the world. But yeah, one funny thing that I saw was freaking The Weeknd. He was like flicking his tongue on the stage like a maniac, and it was hilarious. Mm-mm-mm. Thoughts on the Pizza Hut logo? That's funny. Sorry, I'm looking at Threads. I shouldn't be looking at Threads, but if you know anything about artists, we look at a lot of different stuff all day as inspiration. Chicago Rage, Ice Rage, all trending on Threads right now. Yeah, it's not good. Mm-mm-mm. People are so mean. Shouldn't laugh at that. Anyways, alright. I need to stop looking at that, y'all. My bad. So, back to the drawing. I'm trying to think of the song from Ghostbusters. I don't know why I can't think of it right now. But I just can't. That's what it is. Dun, 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 dun. Who you gonna call? Ghostbusters. Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. I got the song stuck in my head now. So please don't judge me for my terrible singing. Cause I'm gonna keep doing it. Even though you don't like it. Cause I don't care. I do care, but I don't. I kinda care, but I don't. I might care, but I don't. Well, who you gonna call? Ghostbusters. Dun, 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 dun. Who you gonna call? Ghostbusters. I forgot I had this stupid color wheel out. See, it's so new to me, the color wheel, that sometimes I don't even know that I put it out. I am glad it shakes like that though. Whenever, if you notice when I try to tap on it over here, I try to tap on it, it shows that, oh, it's like, hey man, I'm over here. You don't have to keep tapping on me. And then when you want to, you can just close it out and then it'll go back up there. But right now, I'm gonna keep it right there. Dun, 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 dun. Who are you gonna call? Ghostbusters. That song stuck in my head, man. Shouldn't have did it. Dun, 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 dun. It's a great song. Don't know about Ghostbusters. You should definitely look it up. Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry, I'm stretching y'all. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Long have I been live here? An hour and 32 minutes. And now it's 2:11. Still trying to figure out what time I'm gonna stop streaming. I'm saying I may just keep going until I get like exhausted. Let's see what happens. That's what it's all about. Just grinding and trying to get better at what you're doing. I think that's what separates you from other people is doing that. Dun, 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 dun. Who are you gonna call? Ghostbusters. Dun, 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 dun. Let me see. Yeah, I do want this. Yeah. I'm gonna do that. Make the eyes a little bit smaller. And I'm gonna do some dark outline over here. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm actually gonna make this just a little bit. Let's see. A little bit darker. I'm gonna make it the pen a little smaller. And I'm just gonna go on the outside of this. Now, I want it a little more saturated. Who you gonna call? Ghostbusters. Mm-mm-mm. You know, one thing I forgot to do, forgot to post on my YouTube posts, my community posts, that I'm live. Maybe I'll do that next time. Maybe I'll put it on my Instagram also. You know, there's a bunch of things I could do. Try to promote my live stream. Because you want to try to utilize all your platforms. Like right now, I don't have a lot of followers anywhere at the moment. I think the most followers I have is on Threads, the Instagram clone, or not Instagram clone, the Twitter clone. Because I don't like Twitter, so I use Threads instead. Because Threads, honestly, is getting better. Like I was just looking at, they did an update recently with like communities and all that. I was like, oh, that's interesting. You know, I like the way that that it looks. So now I'm gonna do a little bit for the mouth right here. A little bit of straight line here. A little bit of that. Like that, like that. Right. I'm also gonna do. Let's see. I'm gonna call it a little bit of white details. So I'm gonna make this probably a little bit smaller also to like 3. And I'm just gonna go through. I'm gonna do this. Just gives it, I think, a little more definition is what it's gonna do. A little more separation from just being just straight black. So this will help it kind of get a little more details, hopefully. That's what the hope is. We'll see how it looks when I get done. Looks a little bit better. A little more right here. And right here. Also gonna do this for the eyes a little bit, but to the eyes, I'm gonna go horizontal instead of vertical. Yeah, I think it looks pretty decent. I don't think it looks terrible. Yeah, it looked the best, but at least it don't look terrible. And I'm gonna do it for the hat, for the top part. So I'm gonna go back vertical. Who are you gonna call? Ghostbusters. That's the only part of the song I know, by the way. That and then the chorus, like the solo part. Alright. It looks pretty decent. Not terrible. Yeah. Go ahead and get out of that one. Next, I'm gonna look to see what I want to draw next. Let's see. I really like this reference, but that's complicated to draw, so I'm gonna have to say that for later. 369. Thinking if I should draw all these ghosts. So I'm gonna go from 1 ghost to 7 ghosts. No, forget it. I'm gonna do it. Because why the hell not? Nothing better to do. Sorry, I'm back looking at threads again. Oh man, one thing I forgot to do is to tag the art threads. That sucks. It's all good though. Mm-mm-mm. Sorry, I'm looking at my analytics again, y'all. My bad. Anyways, back to the drum. Alright, so we're gonna do 7 goats. So I'm gonna do some outlines and then I'll add more detail. Nope, on pencil, 6B pencil again. I'm gonna do this. One day I'll have to kind of talk about like all of my equipment. I think I kind of touched on it yesterday. I didn't talk about everything. So, but one day I think I'll get more into it. Because right now what I'm using to draw is my iPad Pro. So, yeah. But it's good though. I like it. I like my iPad Pro a lot. I use it for a lot of different stuff. So I'm looking at some of my settings here for my stream. Trying to make sure everything looks good. Everything looks to be good. I don't see anything that's terrible. Keep your beauty in your face, not your face. That's what it said on Threads. Man, used to be a hardened criminal. Sorry, I'm still looking at Threads here, y'all. Need to stop. Alright, I'm gonna stop now and I'm gonna go back to my drawing, y'all. Because that's what we're on live stream for. If I just wanted to look at stuff, I would share my screen and I would go through it with y'all. Which I do want to set up my like my screen so I could like react to stuff, you know, on YouTube or whatever. I think that'll be fun to do. But yeah, right now I think just doing art right now is pretty fun. Shouldn't be too difficult to set up though, to do the like reaction type stuff. least I hope it's not that difficult. A lot of times I'll just Google it and look it up on YouTube. That's another thing I need to do is how to look up how to like set up my art print on my website. I do have a personal website, but I haven't sold any art to anybody as of right now because I'm just not well known at the moment, and that's okay. But I do want to start putting some stuff out there so that people start buying if they want. Or actually, I may just wait on that until I think right now I just need to create stuff and get myself out there and put myself out there more. And then as I start gaining more of a following, that's when I'll probably start to actually start trying to do like commissions and stuff. Might need to update my website to get rid of the contact me page, or I might keep it. We'll see. We'll see how life goes, man. Life is just about rolling with the punches, ain't it? It's one thing that Jamie Foxx taught me was that Ray Charles, when he was doing the biopic called Ray. If you've never seen it, definitely you should watch it. That's one of my favorite movies. But yeah, if you ever looked at the biopic called Ray that Jamie Foxx played in, he was with Ray Charles before he passed away. And one of the things Ray Charles like told him whenever Jamie Foxx was like playing piano with Ray Charles, he would Jamie Foxx would, if you don't know who Thaddeus Monk is, Thaddeus Monk was he was a pianist, and with his, that's a crazy word by the way, but yeah, he played piano. That's what they call him, pianist. So he would play the piano, but Thaddeus Monk, he was such a revolutionary when it comes to piano, that he would play the most intricate, like crazy stuff, and Ray Charles would do the same. Ray Charles would kind of, as practice, you know, Ray Charles would play Thaddeus Monk type of stuff, and it was like a lot of it was like real fast paced, hard hitting keys and all that. And Jamie Foxx, since he was playing with Ray Charles, when Ray Charles would go into the Thaddeus Monk type of stuff, Jamie Foxx had issues with like playing the piano. Because Jamie Foxx, don't get me wrong, he's talented. He could play the piano, he could sing and all that. But Thaddeus Monk is some hard stuff. And for anybody, doesn't matter if you're experienced or not. And when Jamie Foxx would mess up like a key or something, or like a chord, what he said that Jamie Foxx told him one time was that, he would tell him like, hey man, life is all about, taking the time to hit the right notes. That's what it was about, which is a bar, man. That's an amazing bar. Like that quote right there is amazing. But yeah, that's what life is all about. That's kind of the tangent I want to go on there. It's just about, taking the time to hit the right notes. That's what all you got to do. And that's what life is all about. It's just taking time to hit the right notes. And that's what I'm trying to do. Just take my time to hit the right notes. Oh yeah, I also saw recently that the updated version of the Beats Fit Pro just recently is about to come out. I think they're calling it the Power Beats Fit is what I think is what they're calling it. Yeah, Power Beats Fit is what they're calling it. Let's see, when does it come out? September 30th. Oh, so it should be available now. Oh, okay. I had no idea. I gotta order me a pair next week because I lost my old Beats Fit Pro. Well, at least I lost the case. Like I have the headphones, but I lost the case in an Uber that I was in, and I was sad. So now I'm like, well, Yep. So now I just gotta buy some new ones. So, so yeah, that's what I'm gonna do probably next week. I thought about doing a instead of doing the Power Beats Fit. I was thinking about just buying the AirPods Pro 3. Which actually, I gotta watch more of it. Like before I make purchases, by the way, I'm pretty sure everybody does this nowadays, but especially me. I watch a lot of tech YouTube videos about the product before I buy something, just to kind of see what the pros and cons are of a product. And I'll watch them for everybody from like MKBHD to iJustine to who else was it? Your average consumer. If you don't know anything about these tech YouTubers by name, they may sound foreign to you, but they all have YouTube channels and they have some unique perspectives, and all of them have pros and cons to their reviews. Tell you, I watch about 4 or 5 of them. Sometimes I'll watch more than that if it's like a bigger purchase, like for like my phone that I have. I have an iPhone 16 Pro, and the reason why I have a Pro specifically is because I do create content and I use a lot of the camera features and all that, and I do a lot of gaming on it, and I'm like the ideal user for a Pro product. And I try to mostly get Pro products now because I do create so much, and I want to have the best. I don't always buy like the most expensive product, but I'll buy like the low to mid tier Pro product just to have it and make sure that I can do what I want to do. I'm gonna start adding in some of these details here, like the mouth and the eyes, and some little bitty arms, little bitty arms. Since this one's gonna have this kind of arm right here, and I'm gonna give it a little tongue right here. Also gonna do a few teeth in the mouth. Little baby teeth is what we're gonna do. Alright. And this right here I messed up. So I need to darken this right here. Because the pupil is supposed to be center. I don't know why I made it the way I did, but the first time. Alright, here we go. It's a little bit better. I'm gonna do another little bitty arm on this side. I wonder, what did I call my... I gotta check something real quick on my YouTube video. I'm gonna change my title real quick on my YouTube video, so forgive me real quick because you're about to hear some clankety clanking because of my loud Keychron keyboard that I have. So please forgive me in advance. It's a great keyboard when you're by yourself, but when you're live streaming, it's not the best keyboard. Try and actually I'm gonna put sketching. We're gonna add some tags also. Like I said, forgive me for clanking. Drawing, sketching, Procreate. All right, cool. Good there. All right, back to drawing. Alright, so for this bottom left ghost, I think I'm gonna do just little eyes, do a little mouth. By the way, don't think I'm just making this up. Like somehow I'm looking at a reference here. So some people think it's cheating when it comes to art. I'm like, dude, like, we gotta grow up about that stuff. Everybody uses a reference for everything, trust me. Reference tracks, reference. Everybody's inspired by something, so. I'm gonna do vampire teeth on this one. It's okay to be inspired by stuff, but just give me credit about what you're inspired by. I think it's the main thing. Do a little bitty arm here. On to the next one. 2 eyes again. Pupils in the center. I'm gonna do more of a shock face on this one. No tongue. This one's not gonna have any teeth though. I'm gonna do something like that. Yeah. Probably should have moved this ghost over a little more from the paper. I could expand it actually if I wanted to. Go ahead and crop this and make it bigger. Alright, here we go. Dun, 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 dun. Alright, back to some of my music that I was playing earlier. Let's see, where was I at? The Weeknd, back to I'm actually gonna move this ghost right here. Circle this, select it. I'm gonna move this way. Here we go. Trying to give this ghost a little more room right here in the middle. To your faces. I probably shouldn't watch one stream like that actually. It's probably not the best idea for your ears. I apologize. Mm-mm-mm. This one we're gonna do some small eyes, little happy face. Zoom in quite a bit here, cause yeah, yeah. Sorry, I'll keep whistling. I tend to whistle when I listen to music, especially when I'm by myself. So I gotta break that habit, especially when I'm on the street. It's not good for y'all. I've been streaming a little over 2 hours now. What time am I gonna stop? I honestly don't know when I'm gonna stop. I kind of like just doing this, even though I don't have any viewers. Like, it's still fun, just to do it. Just kind of talking through my art process. And, yeah, I mean, and a little tongue on this one. Little bitty arms again. One thing I do want to do though is some gaming, like up on my phone. I think I'm gonna do that next. Try to see what that's like. I could probably do that on this stream, but I think I'm gonna do a separate stream for that. I'm actually gonna make this bigger. Select this, make this bigger. Has to fill up the page a little more. Yeah. This one, we're gonna do a little bit of a hat. Not a party hat, but just like a little ghostly hat. And part of his body. But I gotta make it a little bigger. Here we go. Alright, cool. This middle one, I gotta make it bigger, and then there's two things I gotta do actually for it. Whoop. Do that. There we go. Yeah. Next thing I gotta do, I gotta add a mouth, add some arms. Alright, cool. So we got good there. We're gonna add some color. Let's see. I'm gonna do a light blue. Wrong pencil again. That's not. That's wrong size. So I'm not sure yet if I'm gonna do each goes one by one, like full detail, or if I'm gonna do like all the basics for each one and then go back and add all the details for each one. Not sure which one's gonna be easier. Well, I guess we'll find out in real time right now. See which one's easier for me. Yellow eyes. Yeah, I want a little more yellow. It's orange. Still more orange. There we go. I think that's more yellow. Nope, still more oranges. More yellow. There we go. That's a little better. And black pupils. Just gonna do the background of the mouth. Be black. And for the tongue, gonna be red. Yeah, then put that right there. Yeah. It's pretty decent. Not the best ghost, but you know, it is what it is for now. Yeah. I think I'm gonna keep doing that. So I think I'm gonna do each one by one. Instead of trying to do all of them at one time, I'll just do them one by one. You know, I probably could try to do like color fill, like when it comes to doing this. See, that doesn't work all the time. So I could probably lower the threshold if I wanted to, but I'd rather not. I'd rather just do it all manually. I don't know why, but I like doing it the hard way. I'm a weirdo. To let me go. This song I'm listening to right now by The Weeknd called Giving Up on Me on his Hurry Up Tomorrow album. It's a great song. It's a song that I played quite a few times. The first time I heard it, like I kept replaying it before it ended, just because it was so good, especially the bass. And I'm a bass lover, so I think we all love bass. Just a nice clean bass, you know. Not too crazy, like I don't like my trunk rattling like in my car or to make it, you know, make it rattle anything crazy, but I do like it, like nice clean bass that's very tastefully done. I like the type. So Doing it right. This man is shocked, absolutely shocked at what he heard. I don't know what he heard, but he heard something crazy. Do, 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 do. And third ghost. Speaking of ghosts, I don't know if I've ever seen like Space Ghost, no, Space Ghost. So space. I'm gonna write this down for you real quick. Space Ghost. Space Ghost? Yeah, Space Ghost. Go back to it. Space Ghost. And then coast to coast. You get what I'm saying? Space Ghost, coast to coast. It was a show when I was a kid. It's come on Adult Swim on Cartoon Network, and yeah, it was a great show. I didn't like it too much as a kid, but like as I grew up, I started to enjoy it because of all the like quirky comedy that they did. Some hilarious stuff they did. But yeah, there was recommend watching it if you can find it online. Matter of fact, I might draw in a little bit some of the characters from Space Ghost. Take me back to LA. If you hear me singing random songs, because I'm listening to music. So, to you. All right, got that. Mm-mm-mm. One thing I am curious about, though, let me check something real quick. I want to see what the sound is like for the live stream, because that's something I should have checked 2 hours ago, 2 hours 15 minutes ago. I don't know why I never check it, but I need to. Let's see. Seems to be pretty good. All right, cool. Looks like we're good. May want to increase the volume a little bit though. That's one thing I gotta figure out is how to. Let me see. Am I able to increase the DP? dB? I said DP. Decibels. dB is decibels. Balance, millisecond sync, blah, 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 monitor. Yeah, it looks like I can. Music is way down, microphone. Let's see if I can increase it a little bit. Just to make it a little bit better. I think I'm only going to do it by like 1 decibel. I think that'll make it a little bit better. Music though, I think it's at a good volume. So let me see how that sounds real quick. Yep, I think we're good. Audio levels look to be good. Yeah. Cool. I think we're good there. If in the future I replay the video and then it's too loud, I'll of course adjust. Let me see, where was I at? Yes. Drawn Ghost. Space Ghost, Coast to Coast. Make sure I'm on the right layer here. Yeah. Back to my reference image. Yeah. I'm back to the good old yellow. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. You know what it is. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. Some of these ghosts have blood coming out their mouths. I didn't even notice that until I just like looked at it, the reference. I'm gonna do a little bit of a darker red for the blood. Let me suck your blood. There we go. No, I think I'm gonna make it a little darker. Let me erase that real quick. A little darker over red. There we go. There we go. I think that's a little better. Yeah, I think that looks a little better. I like it. Yeah, cool. And then a little bit, I also gotta go back and outline the ghost with a darker blue. Still, it's gonna be a light blue, but it's gonna be like a darker light blue. It's not gonna be like a royal blue or nothing like that. It's gonna just be a sky blue, just a little bit with a little more saturation is all. That's how darker colors are, by the way. Something I learned too. It's just darker colors are just more saturation is all. Back to my music. Oh, good God, I forgot to turn down my headphones. There we go, that's better. Yeah, if you didn't catch my last live stream, I kind of talked about my theme being more Halloween themed stuff because of October. So forgive me for drawing a lot of ghouls and ghosts, and probably gonna be drawing more scary stuff this month. But it's all part of the theme, theme of Halloween, theme of October, because it's not September. No longer is it September. My birthday's in September, so I just turned 32. If you don't know, it's September 3rd. If anybody cares, if you don't care, I understand. But another fun fact. That's another fun fact. Like I just named a whole bunch of fun facts, but a fun fact: most people are born in, I want to say, August or September. The majority of the population. And the way to look at that is during the wintertime, most people are conceived December, January-ish time because it's wintertime, so everybody's inside. So yeah, your parents are inside having sex. So just keep it, keep that in mind, not to ruin your day. But yeah, I know we all don't want to think about that, but we all came from sex, y'all. All of us. Well, I'll take that back. Some of us are conceived from a beaker, which is fine if you are. Your life still has the same meaning as anybody else, but most of us are conceived from sex. So just keep that in mind, y'all. Parents having sex. Yep. Not to get all crazy with it, but yeah, something to think about. So for this one, I'm gonna actually do. Thinking I'm gonna go back over these tones, yeah, the darker red. Sorry, I'm listening to Big Sleep by The Weeknd, and this song is freaking amazing. If you never heard it, definitely listen to it, because that song is a beast. So much enjoyable music on it. It's amazing. 2 hours, 24 minutes. I keep looking at the time. I don't know why I keep looking at the time. Probably because I got work tonight. I'm trying to time this correctly. Yeah, but I think after I get done with this, I think I'm done with streaming for the day. Just because, we got other stuff to do for the day. I might do another stream today with just gaming. We'll see how that goes though. So I'm trying to find some good music over here. Not that The Weeknd's not good music, but it's just that, you want to switch it up sometimes. Alright, back to drawing. No coloring. I think I may hang up the live stream. I don't know yet. We'll see. I still got plenty of time before I gotta go to work and all that later on tonight. Mm-mm-mm. I think I made these circles. What's that circles? These eyes a little too big. I think I'll keep it like that though. Teeth on the ghost are yellow. Because unfortunately, they don't have toothbrushes in the afterworld, so at least as far as I know. I could be completely wrong about that. Mm. Yeah, after I get off stream, I think I'm gonna check out some of the other art live streams, see what they be doing, do a little research on them, engage with them a little bit, figure out what I can do to try to be better at my streaming as a streamer. Yeah. As you should, you should want to get better, I think, as a streamer. Especially finding things to talk about. Like for me, finding things to talk about. I don't like talking to begin with, which I probably don't have to, but I do. It's not the same yellow as my previous one. Need to change it. There we go. Need some uniformity. There we go. Back to the tongues. Make sure it's the same red. Because we want consistency in our artwork. For the yellow, I'm going to take it from this tooth. I'm going to come back over here. Put it on these teeth. All right. Oh yeah, it's like I'm stretching now. Feel good. Yeah. Oh yeah, I also need to change the background color to black. I'm also going to do more of a saturation. I'm gonna do some dark lines now. Kind of clean up these edges, try to make it a little more smooth. I think the pen's too big, pencil's too big. looks a little better. I have to go back and color in a little more, maybe. Mm-mm-mm. Made it through the struggle. When you down bad. It is one sad thing. I don't know if y'all know who Young Scooter is. Young Scooter was another rapper. He passed away this recent. I think this year actually. Yeah. I remember reading about it on social media where he got shot, man, and he was shot by the police because he ran away. It's kind of a contradiction, but you know, just try to be safe out there, y'all. Don't be doing no crazy stuff out here, man. But Young Scooter and one of my other rappers that I used to listen to is Young Dolph, and he got shot. I was sad about that. So they're more underground rappers, so not a lot of people know about them like that. Even though they get, don't get me wrong, they do well for themselves, but they just aren't as well known as like a Drake or a Kendrick or a J. Cole, you know. Anybody else who's in like the mainstream like that. Yeah. I think I might end the stream here though. Don't really have much else to add today. You know, stream for a good 2.5 hours. Over 2.5 hours a little bit. But yeah, man. I'll be doing these streams as much as I can. So maybe thinking maybe 3, 4 times a week, maybe. You know, we'll see how it goes. 3, 5 times a week, maybe. Who knows? I like doing this, you know. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, man. Want to hit me up? My Instagram, my threads is right there, so you can hit me up. You know, I'm pretty good at responding back to people unless it's something crazy. But yeah, man. I'll talk to y'all in the next one. So, yeah, have a good one.